looked at the process of exploring and analyzing a data set and the benefits in doing so of creating a data table. A data table is one where each column you have represents a variable, like the ID number or what program a student is studying, where they're from, what their home is, and each row represented uh, the responses of a specific individual, one of the records in our data file. That as we explore this, we want to see what patterns might exist, and there are different sorts of typical things we tend to look at. To be able to do that, it's often advantageous to go and create a total row. What's that? We'll look at that. So on the Design tab, click on Total Row, and I get this blank row appearing at the very bottom. So what is this blank row? Let's click on the very first one. As soon as I clicked on it, an arrow appeared. Click on the arrow. It gives me a bunch of different functions here. These are ID numbers, so I'm not going to average them. What's the total? Or the total count here? 811. There's a header row at the top. We can see here's row 812. So if I take off the header, yeah, there are 811 records here. Good. Okay. Here are some of the questions. One of them was, when did you start your program? Well, let's click on count there. 802. So we must have 9 blanks in this column somewhere. And so I don't have all the records here. And you may want to start looking across some of these sorts of things and seeing, did students respond or not respond in terms of the questions we had here. For example, one of the questions was what their gender was. And if I go and look and see how many answered that, it was only 665. This was at the end of the survey, and I expect there was a lot of survey fatigue. And so we had about 140 students that didn't tell us what their gender was. I don't think they were too embarrassed to tell us that. So counting is one of the things that's useful. It tells us how much data we've got, and it gives us an idea of how many blanks we've got. Here's one that gives us salary. What was your expected salary 2 years after graduation? I look at count. 752 gave me a response. So almost 60 students didn't tell me what they expected to earn. We got other things here. This is a column of numbers, so let's find the average. So they expected to earn on average almost $53,000. So averages are nice to see. That's okay. Some of them were blank. So if I clicked on minimum, 0 is not a blank. That this is a blank here. A 0 means someone told me 0. They didn't expect to earn any money after they graduated, 2 years after graduation. That's strange. What's the maximum? $650,000. Massive amount. They probably meant $65,000. And so we've probably got some typographical errors in here, some recording errors in what people responded to in the survey. I probably got some data quality problems in this survey. That if you wanted to, well, I want to start looking at averages. I'm going to get back here to average, but I don't want these strange people in. Is there a way to get them rid of them? I'll go up here to the arrow, and it says I can unclick. I can get rid of that 0. I could scroll down here. I could get rid of this one. I could get rid of all these ones. So here's a bunch I got. Oh, this is getting a more reasonable figure. But this is hard work to click on those. Maybe I'm going to filter in a more complex fashion. So if I go to number filters, I can look at only ones that equal a number or don't equal, greater than or equal to. So I might want to have greater than or equal to 10,000, or less than, maybe less than 120,000, or less than or equal to, or between, above average, below average. Let me just do between. I'm going to do is greater than or equal to 20,000. Don't put any commas in. And less than or equal to what? 100,000? Sounds like a lot of, I think a lot of us would love to graduate and get $100,000 2 years after we graduate. So I can put that in. Okay, the average is a little smaller, 51,000. It's taken out some strange numbers at the bottom and some strange numbers at the top. I can go back and count. Ooh, I threw out about 50 values, but these are 50 values I didn't like anyway. So let me go back to my average. So 51,000. Ooh, business students. Business students probably expect to earn more. I could go over here and I could just filter on business students. Hmm, a little bit more, but not much. What about art students? Ooh, that's a fair bit less. What about those science kids? 57. They think they're going to earn a lot of money. Whoops. What happened here? I lost my top row here. Um, how about people whose programs are ones that we don't offer? Oh, somehow I'm losing my header row. That's about average. These are all strange people too. Okay. So I can do all kinds of different things in terms of filtering. Maybe I want to look and just look at them in groups and look at the individual values that are within my range of highs and lows. So I could sort them. I could sort the programs, art students, and all the numbers for art students are all mixed up. So let me look at the salaries here, and smallest to largest. So I'd like, oops, is that it? That doesn't look right. I have arts and then business, but these are all 20,000s. Oh, it's sorting in the wrong order for me. I want a more complicated sort than this, obviously. Let me go back here. So sorting, I can do one thing at a time. How do I sort by color? That's strange. Oh, what's this? Custom sort. Okay. So I could sort first by program, and then I can add a level, and I can sort by salary. And I could do it A to Z or smallest to largest, largest to smallest. Let me just do that. Okay. Now I have all the art students, and then their salaries go from 20,000, and what are the top ones, and lots in the middle, and we got, whoops, a couple that are at the very top, but not that many. And then we have business students. They go bottom, bunch in the middle, and they got seem to be a larger group at the top. These invalid ones, same way, and the science ones the same way. And then the ones that didn't tell me their program. Oh, okay, what do they like? Interesting numbers. Look at the precision in this one. This is strange. That so I can go and explore my data in different patterns. By the total row is very helpful in giving me some type of summary to that column. That I've got when I'm selecting things, I can sort things in different ways, and I can filter them in different ways. And through all of these different sorts of things, I can get a sense of what are the patterns within my data, what's unusual, what's not usual. And there's all kinds of different ways I can reorganize it and explore it. It's nonetheless awkward. It's trial and error, but I'd strongly recommend that you look at that, to look at particularly at the extremes and get a sense of what does your data really look like? What are the challenges that you've got within your data? And I'm going to stop sharing.